That's a great reputation to have, but bring her out of town, there's extra out of town, I'm gonna hit you up because you're from the Passaic County, or, Bergen County, we're gonna beat you up. But I said before, if you take a dime and you're calling it basically parking revenue, then you have to have someone that's able to come to that podium and explain the SOPs and how it's done, the hours worked, and what was collected, and all of that. And whomever's doing the job, thank you. I mean, all the hands that are involved, I'm sure the police, our CFO, who's always involved in everything. I mean, everyone's got their hands in this, thank you. But unfortunately, administratively, this was a mess. So we're cleaning up the mess. That's all I have.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Councilwoman DeGrova?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Hooper?
Yes. Ordinance 2019-14 successfully passes. There are no ordinances for a first reading. Is a resolution consent agenda. Does anyone have anything that would like to be pulled off the consent agenda?
2019-67.
Councilwoman says 2019-67. Councilman Lutz?
No, no, that's
Okay. Councilman Davis?
I'm good, thank you.
Council Vice President?
Good.
I'm good as well.
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeGrova?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Hooper?
Yes, 68, 69, 70, 71 passed. Move to resolution 2019-67, stigma-free communities resolution. Councilwoman, the floor is yours.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Your floor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wanted the opportunity to read this one. So as I presented it at the last meeting, this is a countywide initiative. And they asked us, the Warren County Governing Officials Association, to adopt it locally in Phillipsburg. So I presented it, and that's why it's being read. So if you'll afford me, I'll go ahead and read it.
Absolutely.
Resolution 2019-67, Stigma-Free Communities Resolution. Whereas, the Warren County Board of Chosen Freeholders, along with the Warren County Department of Human Services, supports the designation of stigma-free communities in every municipality. And whereas, at the November 14, 2018 meeting of the Warren County Board of Chosen Freeholders unanimously passed a resolution supporting the designation of Warren County as a stigma-free community. And whereas, the Warren County recognizes 1 in 4 Americans has experienced mental illness, including substance use disorders in a given year, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. And whereas, mental health problems are more common than cancer and heart disease combined, affecting children and adults, including more than half of our Iraq and Afghanistan veterans treated at Veterans Administration hospitals. And whereas, given the serious nature of this public health problem, we must continue to reach millions who need help. Whereas the stigma associated with the disease of mental illness is identified as the primary reason individuals fail to seek the help they need to recover from this disease. And whereas stigma-free communities aim to inspire public interest and open dialogues about stigma, raise awareness of the disease and mental illness, and create a culture wherein residents who have the disease of mental illness feel supported by their community and neighbors and feel free to seek treatment for the disease without fear of stigma. And whereas, this is a long one, promoting awareness that there can be no health without mental health will break down barriers and encourage residents of all ages to be mindful of their mental health and ask for help when needed. And whereas local resources are available to treat the disease of mental illness, so no one resident needs to suffer alone or feel helpless. And whereas establishing stigma-free communities will raise awareness of resources and encourage residents to engage in care as soon as the need is identified so recovery can begin, hope is inspired, and tragedies are avoided. And now therefore be it resolved, the town of Phillipsburg recognizes the community needs and supports the efforts of the County of Warren in designating the town of Phillipsburg as a stigma-free community.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yes.
Does anyone have any comments? Roll call.
You need a motion.
Yeah. Roll call?
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Polk?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you read it again? No, I'm kidding. Okay. 2019-67 successfully passes. Moving forward to old business, we have a few tabled ordinances from previous meetings. 2019-03 had its first reading on January 22nd, 2019, which is a bond ordinance providing for improvements to the storm sewer collection system by and in the town of Phillipsburg in the county of Warren, state of New Jersey, appropriating $1.3 million therefore and authorizing the issuance of $1.3 million in bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. Does anyone wish to untable? There being none, move forward to ordinance 2019-14. It's also tabled. Bond ordinance providing for the improvements in the sanitary sewer collection system by and in for the town of Phillipsburg and the county of Warren, state of New Jersey, appropriating $1.3 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1.3 million in bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. Is there a motion on the table? Ordinance 2019-07, bond ordinance repealing and replacing bond ordinance number 2017-03, finally adopting April 18, 2017, and providing for the renovation and conversion of 675 Cordes Avenue into administrative and public safety building to house the administrative, police, fire, and emergency management departments by and in the town of Phillipsburg and the county of Warren, state of New Jersey, appropriating $6.5 million, therefore authorizing the issuance of $6.19 million in bonds or notes to the town to finance part of the cost thereof. Is there a motion to untable? There being none. Motion to untable? Sir.
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second to hear your discussion.
There's no discussion on the motion on the table, so you
Oh, no.
Can we go back to it?
So, roll call?
Councilman Davis?
Is this to untable it?
Yes, on table, yes.
The motion's still on the table. No.
Councilwoman DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Polk?
Yes. Ordinance 2019-07 has been on the table. Ordinance 2019-07, is there a motion?
I believe it's already been moved, Council President.
There's a motion on the table.
So
So it's active now, so now there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Council, Vice President? Your floor.
can I ask Council one question before I say something?
Council President, thank you. Thank you for giving me the time to do that. This being a first reading and not a second reading, I'm comfortable to speak about this. I'll make it simple. One town, one building, $6.5 million. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Is there anyone else with any comments?
I don't feel comfortable voting on this bond issuance yet. We have not yet received detailed plans from the engineer for the construction of this building. I feel it would be premature, absent those plans, to vote on any amount of money to move any project forward.
Noted. Councilwoman?
Do we know if the mayor's executed? Can I ask the town engineer questions?
Stan, are you in the audience?
Stan?
Stan, can you come to the podium? please. This test will be easy, I promise.
This is an easy one. We received the contract to do the work,
Yes.
to get the architectural stuff started and the engineering. Thank you. That's it.
Stand. When do you propose to have those numbers by?
I send my contracting us the 30% submission, and that'll give us a good number that we can work with, and an understanding if we get everybody in the building.
Just making sure you got what you needed. Thank you. That's all I
Thank
need.
you, Stan. Roll call. Oh, Councilman Lutz, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, nothing.
Roll
It's
call.
only the first reading.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Councilwoman DeGiorno?
No.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Council Vice President McFeigh?
Yes.
Council President Polk?
Yes. Ordinance 2019-07 has passed its first reading.
As for bond issuances, is that required to be this majority?
It does.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
You received the majority.
Thank you.
New business. Some new business, Councilman Lutz.
Nothing for me, thank you.
New business, Councilman Davis.
No new business.
Is there new business, Councilwoman?
Just one thing. Being we adopted the resolution, I have set the first meeting for the Stigma-Free Task Force to be May 9th. It will be in this room, in this building, 6:30 PM, May 9th. The recommendation is to have stigma-free ambassadors, is what they're called. Stigma-free ambassadors, any resident who embraces a stigma-free initiative and will help bring stigma-free community to life. They're involved community members who are connected to the community and understand the specific strengths and weaknesses of the municipality. I did reach out to the Board of Education. The two members I contacted have a prior commitment. I didn't realize there was an event on the 9th, but I did already request the building. So I will go as planned on the 9th in this building if anyone is interested in joining the task force. That's it.
What time is that meeting start?
6:30. And I will send notice out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is that all?
That's it.
Council Vice President.
I'm good, sir.
Okay, Council, I have two issues. We did receive a letter from Mr. DeMonte. Have you all had time to review it?
I have not.
You have not. Mr. DeMonte is here. Mr. DeMonte, did you want to make a public statement at all? You don't have to if you don't wish. Name and address for the record.
My name's Michael DeMonte. I live at 323 Harley Drive in Hackettstown, but I used to live in Phillipsburg up until 5 years ago, my entire life. I have a few rental properties, come across some hard times, and I'm behind on some 2018 taxes. There's a tax sale coming up in June. I'm in the process of refinance, and upon completion, I should have the funds to pay my 2018 taxes, get everything current taxes and sewer bills. I gave a list and a cover letter to the town clerk, and she said she was going to distribute it amongst the council members. And I'm asking for additional time to get my taxes caught up. I'm not asking for any indulgence or any discounts on the interest that would accrue. You're entitled to that. Just asking for additional time to save me the costs that would be associated with the sale. If I don't have my taxes caught up by the end of July, you're welcome to have another tax sale at my expense.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. DeMonte? Councilman Davis?
I have no questions, but to be candid, it's always been my position that we should have equal application of the law. Absent a motion from any council member to extend the tax sale for all members of our community and all property owners, I understand your plight, but I'm currently not in favor of removing these properties from the tax sale at this time.
Councilwoman?
I'm sorry, I haven't seen the documentation, so I can't comment. I haven't seen it.
Councilman Lewis?
No, I have nothing to say, thank you.
I have to abstain from conversation, and I believe the Council Vice President does as well. Does council want to hold a vote on this evening, or would you like time to review the letter?
If somebody can send it to me, I'll take a look, but I haven't seen it.
Can we vote on
I think it would be prudent, since Councilwoman has not seen or read the letter, to hold this matter over till to the next meeting. You have time, correct? Okay. We'll give her the ability to read it and make a decision.
There's something coming up, I think, about the 24th of this month. That things aren't paid, then it gets into a different echelon where additional fees start accruing.
I'm unfamiliar with the process.
Is the tax collector in the audience tonight? I saw her walk in earlier.
She was here earlier for the executive session. She's not here now, but we can find out tomorrow. We can inquire and send her an email.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you. Okay, the second issue I have is some 6 months ago, this panel voted 4-1 to remove a planning board member as per legal right. It was David Morissette from the planning board. We then voted in December of 2018 to move the contract to the mayor's office. The mayor has not returned a signed contract, so I would like to ask council to, by resolution, ask our town attorney, or, I mean, are you confident?
What do you ask me to do?
Well, I want to write a letter to find out why he's standing in the way of Mr. Morissette's fair hearing.
I don't think we need to do, no, not to do that, we just refer to the clerk's office.
So let me ask you a question. So since he's standing in the way of Mr. Morissette's fair hearing, and we have already decided to move him, what do we do? Are we at a stalemate?
Yes, because a hearing's been requested, you need a hearing officer. That was our recommendation. The hearing officer requires a contract for professional services to act in that capacity.
So the mayor chooses not to sign, Mr. Morissette stays on the planning board, is that correct?
There's no hearing, yes, so the default meeting stays in the planning board.
Okay, so I got my answer, and I will reach out to the mayor's office through the municipal clerk tomorrow, and we will discuss Mr. Morissette at the next meeting.
I did that a month ago.
You also inquired?
I did.
What were you told?
I didn't.
What were you told?
You didn't answer.
I will be honest with the rest of council. If something from the planning board comes before this council, I will not vote on it, because I do not find the board to be a legal entity at this point in time. Now, that being said, we can move forward. Public petitions is a chance for you to speak. Come to the podium, name and address for the record.
Start with the easy one. Is it on? Is it on? Yeah.
It is.
Connie Diego, 147 Lewis Street. 2 words. Warren Reporter. You guys are working real hard on the garbage ordinance, and we're trying to clean up this town, but these things are everywhere. And I'm tired of picking them up. What do you mean overnight?
I look all over for them, they get them.
Come on up on the hill.
All right. Joe.
She directly asked me
Joe,
a question and I responded.
Joe, you spoke out of turn. If you do it again, I'm going to ask you to leave. Okay? Thank you. Please.
Who do I reach out to?
So, Ms. Cuoco, you do reach out to this council, and we have reached out to the Warren Reporter. Joe, for your jacket. Ms. Kleiner has reached out to the Warren Reporter. What have we heard? Nothing at all.
Because technically, aren't they littering? Because they drive up the street and throw it out the window. So I mean,
You are 110% correct.
I can look out on some days and see 3, 4, 5 of them. And with these storms and the rain, I've seen several go into the gutter.
Joe,
The
happy
storm
Easter.
drains.
Happy Easter.
Would you stop harassing me?
Oh, my God. Really?
Good evening.
That was uncalled for.
I was
leaving.
wishing you a happy Easter, Joe. It was,
Officer, you handle this.
I've been nice to him every time.
I'm going to say,
I wished him a Merry Christmas when he left Tommy last time.
if I may say something.
Please do. I apologize for
I
interrupting.
called Warren Reporter now 6 times. There's a girl that's in charge of it. It's down in Leamington. She is in charge of the routes, and she said that she will take care of it, and it hasn't been taken care of. I called all around trying to find where I can get this person that distributes the Warren Reporter, and she's out of Flemington. She's out of Flemington. And there's nothing. Just come down on Mercer Street. The sad part about it, when people don't want it or can't read it, out in the street it goes. They just throw it from their porch and out in the street.
Well, a lot of times it doesn't even make it onto a porch. It goes into a flower bed or the sidewalk and the gutters. I mean,
You are 100% right.
just piling up, and like I said, with the rainwaters and the wind, they're going into our storm drains, and
But
that's
she
gonna
told
cause a
me
problem.
they have the First Amendment right.
To
And
throw garbage on somebody's
Well,
property?
They have a right to put their newspapers wherever, I guess. That's what she
So
explained to
do
me.
I have a right to collect them all and put them on their front porch?
Well, I
Just curious.
collect 15 of them a week on Mercer Street, on my block, and I just throw them in the garbage. Because I don't want them to be ripped apart by kids and paper thrown all over and being wet, and I just do it automatically. I just do it
Make
automatically.
one heck of a bonfire for Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Falco, I've just asked the council to, Council Leonard, to send a letter to the Warren Reporter asking them to cease that behavior.
Oh,
Okay, so that gets us.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Is there anyone else? Ms. Stone, it's been a long time. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Your address for the record.
Jennifer Stone, 153 Lewis Street. Landlords. My neighbor, unfortunately, couldn't come, but I was speaking for her. The house next door, she lived there 30-some years, no problems. The people that owned it moved to Pennsylvania to get out of Phillipsburg, and investor moved in. Now they have rats.
Oh, Lord.
Her husband has killed 10 within a few weeks. The tenant that lives in the house went to the landlord in front of my neighbor and said, if you don't have an exterminator come, I'm moving out. There's a nest of babies in the basement that look at me. My poor neighbor next door, her bread's getting ate every night. They come out from underneath the stove while she's cooking. She has to go on a chair because she's scared to death.
What address is this, Ms. Stone?
She is I want to say 146. It's Alls.
Oh,
Yes, bombarded with rats.
Is that the vacant property? If I'm standing in front of 146, vacant property to the left?
They sold that.
They
Somebody lives in
didn't
it
sell
now.
it? Somebody lives in
Yes,
there?
They just moved in. It's, it would be 144 that is the rental. The landlord said he was taking care of it. He did. He put rat poisoning all along Miss All's fence, and she has 3 dogs. She hired an exterminator, so she's paying out of her pocket. So they've killed 10, exterminator 2. We have traps everywhere. They're in the ceiling. They're everywhere.
I will contact the Warren County Health Department tomorrow and have them open up a case on 144.
Okay. And any news on who is the new owner of next door to me?
I believe we checked that earlier this week. We still haven't found that the name hasn't come into us, right?
no, it's
gotta go to the county first and then.
Once it gets to the county and it comes back to us, as soon as I have that name, I promise you that I would get that name to you, and I would also reach out to them as well.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome.
In this note, I would recommend for your neighbor, if she's having issues with her landlord, I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but there's a great nonprofit in New Jersey called Legal Services New Jersey that has great guidance on mediating landlord-tenant disputes in terms of the rights that you have in terms of having a landlord who's not providing you safe and adequate housing.
No, she owns her property.
Oh.
It's the rental
Okay, I
next
apologize, I
door.
misunderstood then. Thank you.
The neighbor can.
But I believe, sorry, the tenant who has the property who requested the extermination, I believe you said that she said she was gonna move out if it wasn't exterminated properly. And so if he's not handling it, she also has certain rights that she can exercise with that landlord. So I encourage you to speak to her as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Bain. I'm at 416 Daniel Drive, Stewartsville, New Jersey. And I'm really excited about Phillipsburg becoming stigma-free. And I want to thank Councilwoman Danielle DiGeronimo. I put a little task force myself together because I am on the Board of Mental Health. I've got approximately 12 people together. We met last Friday. And they're really into Phillipsburg becoming stigma-free. We have great ideas, and we're going to be very happy to join your meeting because the bigger the task force, we're going to accomplish a lot. We're very excited. So this really means a lot to us. Being on the Board of Mental Health, I also work at Plainview Professional Health Services, which is right across the street. I'm the outreach coordinator, and I have touched so many people's lives in mental health, and they have touched my life, and I find my job so rewarding, and I'm so blessed to be a part of Plainview, and our facility is amazing, and so I'm just really, really excited that you passed this, and this really means a lot to all of us. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, isn't it great to treat mental health like, you know, like just like heart disease? You just walk, it's not, there's no stigma attached to it. So that's exactly what we need to do today. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Evening.
Is there anyone else? There being none, we can go ahead and close public petitions. Council open time. Councilman Lutz.
A few things. We have to talk about a parking authority, starting a parking authority in our next workshop. It's very important because it's not being taken care of at all. I'll tell you why. There was a lady that was at City Hall today when I was there at the police station, and she pays $255 a year for 3 spots. And all of her neighbors aren't even permitted. And she went up and she complained, she says, why should I pay this money when nobody else is there? And I still say that parking lot needs to be lined properly, because it's not being done. If I may ask, is it the right time for a taxi license of Phillipsburg? I haven't seen the one from South Main Street.
We had Eddie's.
Yeah, we had Eddie's, but the one
ACAB.
George's or somebody that changed their name a couple times.
Roberts?
Roberts.
He does not have a license.
He doesn't have a license, but he's operating in Phillipsburg.
That is correct.
Can you cease and desist him?
I have been trying. With the help of the police department.
Can the attorney, can you write him a letter? Write him a
It's really
letter?
an enforcement issue that should come from the other side.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. And the only thing I have, there's been a reports, everybody's talking about CVS Pharmacy. When is it coming? The mayor's holding back on it and everything else. And I spoke to the engineer, and everything is scheduled to be starting very shortly. There's no, they just have to get all their permits in order and everything else. So CVS will be opening, start the construction very shortly. So that's all I have. Thank you.
That's some good news, Councilman. Councilman Hughes.
I'm okay for tonight, Council President.
Councilwoman,
I'm quiet too.
Council Vice President.
And jump right into it. So, recently, that young lady's got her earphones on, she can't hear me. There was an Ellis Sucks sticker put on a Hillcrest sign about 37 yards from my house. And it got back to me that I was the one that put that there, from an administrator. So I'll tell you right now, tell Elaine, wasn't me. I did not do that. Now, I'm not going to give you the answer of, well, it'll come out in court, or the truth will come out, or the trickle-down effects from Washington. I'm just telling you straight out, I didn't do it. I'm not an avid Facebook user. When I did find out, I did, with witness, walk across the street to remove the sticker, but it was already gone at that time. So I think that would be, the town doesn't need that. I'm an elected official, and the town doesn't need that. I just found the irony later on finding out how incensed Mayor Ellis was, for whatever reason, whether he can or can't be. I'm not saying he should or shouldn't be, but he was very incensed about it, drove throughout town. I'm checking all the signs to see if there are other stickers on the sign. But the irony here I found that was that a sticker, unannounced, with no information or no fair warning, was put on his property that made him feel bad. They had 14,000 residents who walked to their garbage pickup to have a sticker, unannounced, with no information, making them feel bad. It's a hell of an irony, isn't it? Okay. Second, I laid awake last night, a little knee procedure done, no big deal. There's people in this world that go through much more, but I laid awake more at night thinking about how much I wanted to say during open time. And I'm not a person that reads or writes or speaks or something. No, I just do it this way. And I started to write it down because it became a lot. And the more and more I wrote, the more and more discouraged I felt. That how much was not getting done, how much, to what we just talked about, the enforcement was not getting done. How do you not enforce? How do you not enforce? Our town's in trouble. I go to Easton to dine. I was just down at Jimmy's Hot Dogs today for a cheap dinner because I don't know how long this was going to last, but I do go to Easton to dine. When I come back at night, it looks like darkness. It's sad. And there's been a lot of time to get things done here. And I don't want anything. I'm not taking any credit for it. I don't want any credit. Whatever happens in the future with this redevelopment, I really don't care. Just want to help what's best for the town. And it's one of the reasons why I ran. But if you have resistance to everything this council does, just because, and I've had this discussion with my colleagues up here, I thought about a couple of things that would have happened in any small town, like anywhere, like Shrewsbury or